Hi everyone, it's Allison Sullivan from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my live Facebook this morning. I'm just going to make sure that I am broadcasting and that I can see your comments. So let me just make sure. Facebook takes a while to catch up. So let's see. Okay. Hi Keisha, good morning. Good morning. What a beautiful day it is today. My goodness. Sunny and it's not warm, it's a bit frosty, but it's beautiful. Good morning. I'm just going to move my little chair over and get my comments up on my iPad so that I can follow over there too. Hi, Jan. Good morning. Good morning to you guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. You got your cup of tea. I had my tea. My husband's out walking the dog. Our dog is so old, though. It's more like walking a slug. He's 13. He's a lab, and he tries real hard, though. So I got to give him points for that. Anyway. Well, you guys, we'll just wait for a couple more people, and then we will get started. So this morning I'm going to share some projects with the New Horizons suite. So good morning, Patsy, my buddy from Minnesota who's currently in Arizona. Good morning. Okay, well, I think we can get started. Other people hop on, but have you guys, good morning, Jacqueline. Have you guys made any cards? Good morning, Marjorie. Have you guys made any cards with the New Horizons set? Let me just flip over. It's beautiful. I love the samples that they did too on the in the mini catalog. So we're on page 42. So let's me swing over there. Here we go. And let me tell you a little bit about the products. So on page 42 and 43. So on page 43, you can see the products that coordinate. And Patsy and I love suites because when there's a suite, it makes it really easy for us to prepare our free PDF for the month because we choose a suite and then we've got all the coordinating products. So it makes it real simple for us. So as part of the suite, we've got the On the Horizon stamp set. And we have the coordinating Horizon dies. Here they are. We've also got the pebbles. So the pebbles enamel shapes. And we have the ribbon, the cotton ribbon. Now this is 2-pack. I'm going to be using one of the colors in my project today. So this is Petal Pink and the other one is Misty Moonlight. And what I love about these, they come together in one pack. But what I love is they're not too thick. They're only, let's see here, 1/8 of an inch. And you get 5 yards of each. So that's quite a bit. But they're so soft. They're really easy to tie and to work with your projects. They're not too bulky either. And then I always say that the star of most of these suites is the designer series paper. In this case, it truly is. So we've got the New Horizon 6x6 designer series paper. So with all these smaller 6x6 packs, you do get 48 sheets and you get 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So that's a lot to work with. But I want you to look at these. If you haven't seen them or you don't own them, they're just gorgeous. Like that is a scene in itself, right? So on one side, we have what I would say are kind of watercolored scenes. So that could be water and purple mountains and sunrise, sunset. Same with this one. So you can see they're just really gorgeous. Beautiful. Clouds. Looks like clouds, doesn't it? This reminds me kind of a almost a prairie look as the sun goes down and it's all red and beautiful. So I guess this one's more likely to go that way. So you've sort of got the grass and then the trees muted out and then the beautiful horizons. Same with this one. So you can see that it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, what's really cool is that we've got these ones that are like scenes in themselves that you can use. And then on the other side, of course, we've got more, you know, just colors and watercolor splashes. Sort of like a wash in different colors. So lots to work with the paper. It's my favorite. I agree. Hi, Lean. Hi, Pat. Yes, I agree, Jacqueline. The paper is really the star, isn't it? Because when you can make a card just by using some of the papers, you've got it made, right? All right, so let's make a card today. Now, one of the things that Patsy and I do a lot is we will look through our catalog and we will look at the samples. Now, these samples are created by concept artists at Stampin' Up. So, you know, I mean, you can't get better than a concept artist. And if you're ever stuck and you think, oh gosh, I don't know what I want to make, or I don't know what I should do, Patsy and I tend to go back and look at the samples. And sometimes we'll take a sample and we will take elements of that sample and make a card out of it. And I'll show you one that I did based on this one here. So this sample here with the frame, I'm just going to lower this a titch just so you can see it a little bit maybe, and I'll just angle this a bit. So can you see that frame? Okay, well, I wanted to make that into a card. So here's what I came up with to make it similar to that frame. Okay, so I've taken some of that gorgeous paper that we looked at and I've cut it down and added the little gate or fence here and some pebbles. And I've added a word and some linen thread. And this is the bark embossing folder, actually. So I didn't make it exactly like the sample, but I used it as inspiration to make my sample. Okay, so never overlook the samples in ways that you can make it your own. Now, today, I'm actually going to make a card that is a direct copy of a card in the catalog. And that's this one here, because I thought it was so beautiful. And it's really simple to make. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is gather up all my bits. So here's what I've used in the actual card. I've got some basic white cardstock. This is my base card. Okay, so 8.5 by 11, scored at 4 1/4. Then I've got the petal pink, that 1/8 ribbon. I want some of that. I want some of the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Those are also from the new catalog. And I don't know if you can see them, but they're beautiful. They're faceted. They're rhinestones, and they're almost like a mother of pearl, you know, the pinks and the oranges. Really pretty. I just got a scrap piece of white. I need that for my die cuts. I've got a scrap of Misty Moonlight for my die cut and a scrap of the DSP. And then I've got 2 pieces of DSP. So I want this piece here. Now look at this piece. It's gorgeous. It's like it's like you've got your kind of icy water and then what looks like kind of mountains in the background and then your beautiful horizon and sky. Gorgeous, right? So I want that, and that's going to be the focal point of my card. And then I've also got another piece of the DSP that I want to use on the top of my card. Now, I've just noticed that I actually cut this one wrong, and so that's okay. Let's get a trimmer and let's cut this piece the right size. So let me find my beautiful paper that I was just showing off. Here it is. And I want a piece that looks like freesia. Here you go. So it's this piece here. I'm just going to use that. Now, I want to cut it actually to the exact size of my card front. So it's going to actually cover my entire card front. So I've got to cut that at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's okay. I'll use that other little piece on another project. Okay, good. Discovered that before it was too late. Yay. All right. So I want to emboss the front of the paper with the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take the layering diorama dies. Have you seen these? These are in the annual catalog. They're kind of fun. Look at these. They're kind of, they could be water, or somebody used this piece here as a little golf, putting green. I thought that was a cute idea. So I'm going to be using this size here, which if you're playing along at home, let's see, it's approximately 3.5, 3.75 at the longest point. Okay, so I think if you're actually looking at these, it's the third one from the middle. Okay, so third largest one from the middle. We're going to use that to cut out an opening once we've embossed that piece. And we're also going to need some of our horizon dies. So let's see. We're going to need these mountains. We're going to need the mountain peaks. It's a separate piece. And we're going to need, I don't know what you'd call this. I don't know, just some sort of, I don't know what you call it. If you guys can think of a name for it, I'm for it. Some sort of, I don't know, ground, water, I don't know. I'm just following the concept artist. So we're going to need those too. So let's do the first things first. Let's give myself some room. Let's raise our camera because we are going to need it so that you can see the embossing. I'm going to set that. That should be good. Okay. Bring in, hi, Jeanette. Hi, Susan. I probably have missed some people if you come on. Hi, Diane. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Marianne. I got everybody. Lane. I got Elaine, I think. Okay. I think I got everybody. All right. So let's open up our large Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I usually don't use this one for my demonstrations only because it's hard to kind of get it on my desk and get my camera high. But we need it today because we're going to be using an embossing folder and I need the large platform. So we've got our number 1 platform here. And then for our embossing, again, we're using the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. Okay, this is from the annual catalog. We've got the piece of DSP here. We're going to put that in our folder. Oop. There we go. And then we're going to need the gray plate. So that is plate number 4. Okay. So here we go. Got that. We're going to put that down. Run that through. I love the way this just grabs it, and it's so smooth. I'm hardly having to turn the handle compared to my former machine, which I found I had to crank and stand up. Okay, we're going to bring that back because we're going to need this again. So that's platform number 1. This time, get that out of the embossing folder. Is that great? Love all the textures, and it really does mimic the paper in a lot of ways, doesn't it? Okay, then we're going to grab our cutting tools here. Good morning, Carol. I think I got everybody. Gosh, you guys are popping on early today. Thank you. Nice to see you guys. So now we've got number 1, number 2, my clear plate number 3, which isn't really that clear. Okay, then we've got our piece of embossed designer series paper. And next we're going to just grab our diorama die. When I was a kid, we used to make well, so did my kids in school, right? Those dioramas where you had to make like a little scene and we used to use a shoebox when I was a kid. I can't remember what my kids did. I think you had to just make it out of paper. Of course, now people make cards, little dioramas, which are fun. So I'm going to position that so that's in the middle. And then I've got my other clear plate number 3 going on top, and we're just going to run that through. Okay. All right. So you could use this piece for something else. So I'm just going to set that aside. So that's what it looks like. Okay, we're going to set that aside. And then I'm going to do the rest of my die cutting now. So I'll just run this back. So what I've got is, I've got this little scrap of the designer series paper. And that one I'm going to cut out my solid mountains. And then I've got a piece of Whisper White, which I don't need that long. So let me just cut that. Okay. And then we're going to put, we need the peaks here. Just do that. And then I've got the Misty Moonlight. Doesn't look like I can fit all this on. So, okay, just going to cut this shorter because it's nice to do it with one pass, right? Ta-da, ta-da. And does anybody come up with a name for this? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's supposed to be water. Probably. Probably supposed to be water. Okay, keep going here. All right. We've got, of course, the beauty of using the big one is that it cuts so perfectly the first time. So this is what this looks like when you cut it out. So it's just the peaks of the mountains. So it's meant to be layered onto another piece, either the same color, or you could use a solid color, or you could use a piece of DSP, whatever you think. All right, so let's get those, and let me put all my little bits and bobs over here so I don't lose them on my magnetic piece there. And then I'm just going to cut out a solid mountain for my background of my peaks in the same color. I was thinking after I did this, you could use some shimmery white. That would be pretty, just to give a little bit of sparkle to the snow. Maybe do the solid one in basic white and then the detailed peaks in shimmery white. That would be pretty. All right, we are done with our machine, so we can put that away. Let's just, okay. All right, here we are. Grab all our bits. We've got our diorama that we've cut out. We've got our card front, and we've got that pretty paper that I cut out earlier. Now I did cut this one smaller, just to 4 1/4 by, 4 by 5 1/4, just so I could maneuver it if I needed to, and I could always cut it smaller. And then when we put this on top, can you see that you've got that, you've already got the look of the mountains in the water. Isn't that great? It's perfect, like a little focal point. Love it. Okay, so let's glue this piece down. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to just use my favorite glue, as you all know, is my Tombow. Tombow is my friend. It's such a reasonably priced glue, too. Hello, Cheryl. Good morning. So I can just pop that like that. Okay. Now, I could glue this down, but because Patsy's with us this morning, we're going to pop it up. Because Patsy loves everything dimensional. I should have bought her shares in the dimensional market. Should be her best customer. And I want to put a few more than I normally would because I don't want it to sag. There's nothing worse than a saggy middle, right? All right, so now we can just pop that up. I'm going to actually, when I used to make books, like bookbinding, it's better to open it flat so you don't get what they call a yawn. A yawn meaning it's pushing back on you and fighting you as you're trying to put something down. That's gorgeous just the way it is, isn't it? You could just put a word and that'd be it. Bob's your uncle. But let's keep going. So I want to glue down my mountains, but I think I'm going to start by just dry fitting and making sure that I've got things. I don't want to cover up these mountains too much, so that looks good to me. And then I want to put that, of course, in the middle. So I think this one has to go up a titch more, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue down without moving this. It's not the end of the world if there's a gap, like who cares? But my original one that I did had a little bit too big a gap and it was bugging me. So, and I'd already glued it down, so there wasn't much hope for me to change it. Okay. Okay, just hold that in place. Okay. Hold that in place till it sets. Then I've got my Mountains Majesty. Purple Mountains Majesty. That's America the Beautiful, isn't it? That's for Patsy too. And anyone else joining me today from the US. That is a pretty song, I will say. Okay. Canadians, it's sort of like our Maple Leaf Forever, right? I'll have a nationalistic song. Okay. Or that could be because I grew up in Toronto and that was the song. And it had nothing to do with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just want to be clear. Okay, let's add some. Let's pop this one up. Again, in honor of Patsy. Let's pop the middle one up. I never get glue on my fingers, you guys. And today, I somehow managed to get glue on my fingers. Never happens. I know some people hate the white glue because they say that it absolutely gets all over them and they hate it. And I get that. And it usually doesn't happen to me because practice really does make perfect with this. Sorry guys, I don't like this glue dot. This glue dot is sticking off the end. I do not like it. So I'm going to grab a little guy, a little edge, and that should do it a lot better. There we go. All right. So I got a big one, little one, and an edge. Stick that there. Oh, I'm liking that. Okay. I'd like it better if it was straight. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then remember we cut out those peaks. So we want to glue those on. So again, I'm just using Daub's little dab of glue. This can get a bit tricky. There is a trick. You could get your silicone mat and you could get your Stampin' Seal, either one, and apply it. And then whatever goes off the project, you can just kind of rub with your finger and it'll come off your silicone mat. So that is an option. Or you could use the adhesive sheets, which would probably be the best option. Next time I do on a card with this, I'm going to try and remember to grab those sheets to show you how to do that if you're not sure how. And then we're just going to glue our peaks down. Now, I could add some Wink of Stella to the peaks. I don't know whether it'll show up that great, certainly not on camera, but let's add some. Because, you know, there'd be snow-covered mountains like they are where I live. I've got my window and you can see the tops of the snow, peaked mountains. Even though it's quite gorgeous here today. It's not cold, it's not warm, but it's not freezing or anything. It's about 7 or 8 degrees, I think. So it's pretty good. All right. So far, so good. Now we need a word. So I'm going to grab the word breathe from the stamp set. That's the one that the artist used. So in keeping with the artist, I'm just going to use breathe. But there's some other nice sayings, which I'll show you in a sec. So breathe. Go. Memento ink I used there. You could have used Misty Moonlight, actually. That would have been nice. Thinking of you, thanks for everything. Relax and enjoy your day. And wishing you so much happiness. Any of those would be good. But with this particular scene, I think breathe works. And we could all use a little time to just sit and breathe, right? Deep breathing. Good morning, Meredith. All right. Now, I'm just fussy cutting this. It does not need to be perfect. In fact, you might want to purposely make it not perfect. So it's not like you're trying to make it exactly even, okay? Oh, sorry, I meant to lower my camera. I am so sorry, guys. Remind me next time to lower my camera, okay? That's better. Can you see a little bit? Okay. And then remember earlier when we started, I brought out the ribbon. This is the Petal Pink ribbon. That's part of the ribbon pack that's in the New Horizons suite. And I just want to create a little focal point of interest. So I'm just going to, my gluey hands, going to fold it, and then I'm going to fold it back on itself. Okay, and then I'm going to cut, trim it at an angle, and hope that's long enough for breathe. Looks like it is. Okay, now I'm going to put this down. Oh, you could use seal. You could use glue dots. There's a lot of things you could use, but I'm going to use a piece of Scotch tape. You could also use our fabulous tear and tape adhesive. Just going to, oh, I think about there looks good. I do have quite a narrow little word, so I want to be mindful of that. Oop. And just kind of grab there. That should be good. Okay, whoops. Well, now that I've glued that together, why don't we just put a glue dot on the back? Why fight? Okay, so let's just stick that on and pull off the glue dot. I think it's kind of more than one glue dot kind of ribbon. Oop. So I'm just using that tape, I guess, as a little anchor. Oop. See my fingers are stuck. I say I never get my fingers stuck with that ribbon. I mean with that glue, but I do. I lied. Okay, and then I can just, I was going to pop this up. I'll show you my original, but I think actually glue dots on this would be better. Okay, so breathe. There we are. Okay, and then to finish it off, let's pull in some of those iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. It's a mouthful, isn't it? This is also from the January to June catalog, and they're just really beautiful. And really, you can see why the concept artists are the concept artists, because they pull products together and they really are quite artistic. If you think about this being like icy, you know, an icy scene with the iridescent rhinestones being like ice. Okay. Hi, Mern. I hope I didn't miss anyone. You've all been popping on. I've been stamping, not paying attention. Anyway, so that is an exact case, or pretty close to the catalog sample. So here's the catalog sample, and here's my case. So the purpose of doing this today was to show you that it's so easy to just, if you just run out of ideas, start with a case, which stands for copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So you could have changed the colors. That would be an edit, right? The wording or the elements. Just like I showed you earlier in that card, where I took the main elements of this project, this home decor project, and made it into a card. So it's not exactly the same by any means, but it's taking the idea and then building it and adding my own twist. So those are both considered case. Copy exact, selectively edit. Okay, so those are my projects for today. But I also wanted to just share some cards with you guys because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I wanted to share some cards, some Valentine themed cards, all from the mini catalog. So look at this little Viking. Isn't she cute? I've taken a Viking to you. That would make really cute kids cards. So these are all from the January to June catalog. You might have missed these actually. I miss a lot of stuff in the catalog. And then this one's really cute. This is one of those step cards. Can you see that? Okay, so that's with the bots. I'm nuts and bolts about you. That's the thing about Valentine's. It's supposed to be corny, right? You're supposed to have those little puns, right? And then I thought I had another box. Oh, I do. Here you go. There you go. You make my heart go beep. Isn't that cute? So cute. And then Patsy and I, in January, our PDF for January was the Sweet Talk collection suite. And here's some cards made with that. So the DSP. I like this one. I used leftover DSP for this. Yeah. Yeah, Keisha. It's an you know, when I first started with Stampin' Up, Keisha's just saying, great reminder to not forget that the catalog has ideas and it's not just for shopping. When I first started, I'm coming up to my 20th anniversary with Stampin' Up. When I first started, our actual catalogs were called idea catalogs. So that's where that whole thing came in, right? Of, hey, this is full of great ideas. And even when I handed out a catalog yesterday to a neighbor who came over to see if I had something that she could use for Valentine's. And I said, well, here's the latest catalog for some ideas. And that's what I said to her. This is just for ideas, you know, use the stuff you already have. It's a great resource. So isn't this cute? And that the dies from this make these little envelopes, which is so cute. And then these, of course, are just like the candies that I believe you can still get. I mean, we got them as kids, so they've been around for like 50 years with all the little sayings on them, right? And then here's another one. This one could be for anything. It doesn't have to be for Valentine's. Happy to have you in my life. Right? Oh, Marjorie, that's a great idea. Marjorie was saying that this New Horizons that we used this morning pairs really well with the Grassy Grove, especially that dye. It's gorgeous, right? Now here's one. It's a little bit more, you know, involved because you had to cut out the hearts and then fit them back in. But, you know, for someone special. And nothing says love and Valentine's like XOXO, right? We got those. Okay, and then lastly, got this one here, which is, again, using up some DSP strips that you might have left over. Okay. All right. So normally I'm going to nip over here back to my face. And I'm going to do this. And let me lay out that card again that we used this morning. Here it is. Oop. So normally I'm back on Wednesdays. I used to come on Wednesdays at 3, and as you guys know, I wasn't well for a while. But I think I'm going to come back on Wednesday at 3. So get back in my rhythm. So I will see you guys on Wednesday at 3 Pacific. If you're around, if not, you can always watch the replay. The Viking is my fave. Yeah. And Patsy Wagner, of course, is from Minnesota Vikings. So it's kind of her state thing with their football team, their NFL team. So I think I covered a lot of Minnesota stuff today, Patsy. 2 thumbs up. All righty. So any other questions? Oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. You're welcome. I'm glad I gave you some ideas. That's what I'm here for. stamping with you guys and hopefully sharing some ideas of some projects. Thanks, Nancy. Thank you all so much, because I know it takes effort to come and tune in and watch, and I really, really appreciate when you come live if you can. But I also appreciate if you watch on replay. I'd like to ask you a favor. If you guys haven't already and are willing to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Stamp Crazy with Allison. I am live. When I go live here, I'm actually live on YouTube also. And I'm just trying to get up my viewing hours. So I need people to watch me over there. So I've got lots of videos from the past over there. If you are looking for an idea or a technique, even though the stamps might be retired, I'm hoping they'll give you some ideas, just like the catalog gives me ideas. Alrighty, so thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day and have a great start of the week, and I'll see you Wednesday. Bye for now.